Hello, I am Julie Watson. I am the Executive Director of Watson Caring Science Institute, and I'm really delighted to be here with you today virtually to share with you the work that we do here at Watson Caring Science Institute with the support and love of my colleagues. So let's get started. So, first of all, Unitek Learning is one of our Watson Caring Science affiliates, meaning that we work alongside you, supporting the work that you do within teaching and learning caring science, particularly Watson's caring science. And we're so delighted that we work alongside Unitek. So thank you for allowing us to be here and be with you on your journey. The title of this presentation is What's Love Got to Do with It? Let's find out. So I'm going to be talking to you, I'm going to give you a whistle-stop tour of Watson Caring Science. And, who is Jean Watson, who is our founder director? What is Watson Caring Science? Who uses the theory? And what are the 10 Caritas processes? How can we measure caring? And how can caring science inform your own practice or setting? So before we begin, one of the things that we often do here at Watson Caring Science Institute, trying to live out the theory, is to just take a pause. I invite you to take a moment with me together. I know this is probably going to be happening at the beginning of your conference, but just together right now, you and I, let's have a moment to just be still, sit comfortably in your chair. Just take a deep breath. Just offer yourself some gratitude as you breathe. Be grateful for everything that brought you here to this moment. And maybe think about giving some gratitude out to your friends, your family, your fur babies, and even the wider field of all those people that actually maybe you have not met yet. Just send them some gratitude. And when you're ready, we can come back and start this presentation. Thank you. So Dr. Watson, I must admit, Dr. Watson is actually my mother. And she's certainly someone that's an extraordinary woman that has done a huge amount of work in the field of nursing and actually the wider world. So Dr. Watson founded and is the director of Watson Caring Science Institute. She is a nurse philosopher and she's considered the rock star of nursing in the sense that she has really created a very useful and descriptive philosophical, theoretical pedagogy around which the nurse profession is framed. So, and I think as nursing students, you probably are familiar with Watson, but so I won't go on. But she has done some extraordinary work throughout her life, dedicated her life to the field of nursing. She founded our nonprofit, and as the nonprofit, we promote this philosophy, theory, and practice of caring science. And we do that within the focus of research, education, what we call praxis, legacy, and leadership. It's really making sure that the legacy of her work is well stewarded, and so that we can be of service and useful to the healthcare profession for the future. So that's why we exist, and that is why our mission is to really continue to offer quality experiences and education and learning around Watson's caring science theory to inform the nurse discipline. So what's interesting about Watson's Caring Science is that it is a what's called a grand theory of nursing, but within that lives what's called the 10 Caritas processes. The 10 Caritas processes are universally agreed components to what it means to care. What do we mean when we say we are caring for someone? What is that definition? Well, within Watson's world, she has developed 10 key factors or points of which caring and nursing lies and lives. And so, in a way, it's a really nice reference point if you're practicing a theory based nurse practice within which to develop your own work and develop your own voice through the 10 Caritas processes. It's like I say they're like the 10 commandments of nursing. They're a resource for you to put in your backpack and to travel alongside with you as you carry out your own practice within the nurse profession, but actually within the wider world of how you live and work in the world, how you relate to other people in your family life, as a parent, as a partner, and as a person. So the kind of so what factor is that this work is now really evidentially shown to reduce staff turnover. We usually call it staff turnover rather than burnout, but basically that's a huge financial burden to our healthcare systems. And by incorporating caring science within a system or a place or place of work, create a healthy and healing and happy environment within which to work and care for yourself and for your patients and your colleagues and your communities and the families. So it's sort of the wider world. The recent revised definition of nursing has a lot of what we call caring science language in it, which is very exciting. The caring science language within the ANA can be a testament to the work that you are doing and actually really bringing it to light to the wider world. So I'm just bringing this a little bit prematurely, but basically from the ANA definition, what needs to be combined, and in a perfect world, is the teaching and learning in the nurse sector and the nurse discipline with what's happening in the field of nursing. So the work that you're studying, you want it to be relevant in the field. And similarly, the hospitals, they want well-trained, thoughtful, kind, caring, professional nurses, right? So what Dr. Watson and these wonderful people have done is they've been working with the AAC in essentials and looking at how can the 10 Caritas processes be woven throughout the new essentials in order to educate nursing students for professional practice. So this should be coming out very soon, but I think there's a real connection between the definition of nursing with now what's happening in the new essentials, and of course what's happening in the wider world of hospital and healthcare settings. And I think it's relevant to you, our future, our students. Full disclosure, I am not an academic. I am a director of a nonprofit organization. I'm just talking to you about what I have learned on my journey. So I'm sure that your professors will know a lot more about what I'm speaking. So feel free to reach out to me and call me out, or I'm open to discussion and dialogue with you. So I think the other important point about this work is that Watson's is evolving. She's a living person. She's a living legend. She's a living person. But what's really interesting is that her work has evolved throughout time with time. And I think that's why it's important for the nurse discipline to also evolve. As far as the basic concept of caring science theory, there are some assumptions. And one of the assumptions that we are all connected. So Watson uses the French philosopher Emmanuel Levinas about the ethics of faith, as well as Teilhard de Chardin, other philosophers about how, who are we and what are we doing here. Watson believes that we all belong to the universal field of love. So we all are connected. We belong to this universal field of love. We all come from love, and we all return to love. And that includes the planet and animals and so forth. We are all connected. And therefore, what we say to ourselves has an impact on that field, and what we say and do to others has an impact on that universal field of love. And once you enter into that, it kind of breaks down all the barriers about how you treat other people, because actually there is no such thing as other. We are all, we are. So that's another way to frame it. So just briefly about our programs, and we'll have some of my colleagues talk, but basically, Watson Caring Science provides a framework to articulate caring in an accessible, elevated, and distinctive way to individuals and institutions that want to move through the world in a caring and compassionate way. So we offer different courses, we have conferences, and I'm going to have my colleagues share their beautiful knowledge with you. So I will run through this. But I do want to tell you that we are now working with Pescani, NRC, and Qualtrics. And so it's very interesting, these measures, because we're now able to kind of quantify it, the value. Everyone talks about, care and love. You can't really, it's so soft. How can you measure that? But these are instruments that contain 5 critical caring questions. So here are some of the questions. My carer provided care with loving kindness. They helped me to have a trusting relationship. They created caring environments. They met my basic needs with dignity, and they valued my personal beliefs and faith. So those are really interesting, different questions than you normally would have on the patient scores. Another work that we do is we work alongside Daisy, and we did some joint research on, is there evidence of the Caritas processes of the human theory of caring in the Daisy Award narratives? And you can see the presentation on this Vimeo, but it was the answer was yes, yes, and so it was really lovely, working in collaboration with like-minded organizations to really move the message of the value of caring science and healthcare and nurses. So these are some of the work that we're doing. We work with affiliates, we offer consultancy, and there is a little film here where Dr. Dale Beatty, CNO of Stanford Health, discusses the metrics and the sort of the data, why, and the value added of Watson Caring Science Institute. They've been affiliates for, I believe, about 8 years now. And it does take time to really embed this work. So these are some of our affiliates. Unitek here, hooray, hooray. You'll see Mount Carmel. You'll see Samuel Merritt. University of New Hampshire should be here too. So it's really exciting. We've got, we're working with nursing schools as well as hospital systems. And what's really lovely now is, at Unitek, if you're knowledgeable in caring science, if you're familiar with the theory of caring science, and you enter into any of these hospital systems, guess what? You're going to be speaking their language. You're going to already know what caring science is, how can it be implemented in your own practice, and you'll recognize the language that's happening. So it's very exciting what's happening at Unitek and what's happening in the wider field. of hospitals in America, particularly. I have to say, I'm so delighted that we have such wonderful work happening regionally. These are all regional Caritas consortia. These are they're uh, they're local grassroots forums that have emerged from the Institute's different conferences. But basically, it's about where you live locally, how can you get together and talk all things Watson's Caring Science. So it's, and then have maybe some speakers or have some different presentations, maybe have a cup of tea together. It's just a really lovely way to share the knowledge. And I must do a real shout out to Dr. Joellen Sutterfield, who's been hugely helpful to us to create the regional consortia, particularly in the Midwest, the Southeast, the Southwest, and Mideastern Florida. So shout out to Unitek for all your amazing work. We love you. These are some upcoming events. This is all on our website. This has been a whirlwind tour, but I just wanted to give you a slight overview. I hope that this is helpful and that you find can be useful and helpful in your own practice. Thank you for listening to me. And now I'm going to hand over to one of my colleagues. You can always reach out to us. Thank you for all that you do each day. We love you. Thank you.